going on, my muckles? Rasati out here in Singapore. Thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl podcast. And you guys, thank you so much for listening from all around the world. I really do appreciate you writing in. I've been getting a lot of messages lately, and I like reading through them because it gives me an idea of what kinds of things y'all are going through. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate your listening ear. And without further ado, I kind of would just get into the whole concept. I had someone write into me and say, you know what, I'm having trouble with somebody, and I don't know what to do about it. And I had to write back and ask them exactly what the situation was about, because most people don't just start in with the problem they're dealing with. They kind of ask if I have time to answer a question or not. So when I wrote back and asked, yeah, how can I help? She said, I'm dealing with somebody, and for some reason they seem like they care, they seem like they're invested in me, they seem like they want to be around and they worry about me and stuff, but on a day-to-day basis that's not the case. So I had to think about it for a second, and I was wondering if I could maybe relate to her, and without much more thought, I was able to bring up a couple examples from my own life. So baby girl and I, you know me, single mom, baby girl, we live in the house together and we do the best we can with what we have. And for the most part, we get along. I think we get along really well. But there are some days where I really wonder if she's thinking about me or if she's just thinking about herself. And it's not to say that she's being selfish or she's rude or crude or socially unattractive, or that she's one of those kids that's completely spoiled and doesn't care about anything in the world. I know she does. On the big level side of things, she understands. She really does. She gets it. We're two people by ourselves. We don't have a lot of help or support. We're trying to do the best we can with the money that we have. We try to make it stretch and work. And yeah, of course, as a kid, she's still going to have wants and needs and things that she really wants to buy because it catches her eye. And we have temper tantrums. We have situations where she's not going to be happy in the moment because she didn't get what she wanted. And it's going to make me feel like I'm a bad person. So whether she says I'm a bad person or not, that's just a feeling that I get. I feel guilty for having to say no. But usually if you talk to her, she's very well mannered. She's very well adjusted. She really has the big picture in mind. Now, there is a big difference between big picture and everyday detail. I've had another situation as well where friends of mine, right? They do care about you. They want you to do the best possible. They want to see you succeed. If they had money, they would make sure that you were well taken care of, all that stuff. That's great. But when push comes to shove and you don't have the money, the things you do on a daily basis really have a humongous repercussion, right? It really, really matters. And people don't seem to understand the details lay in the day-to-day function. So when I asked her more about the situation itself, she was trying to figure out if the person that she was dealing with actually cared, or if they were like just full of shit. Because on the one hand, when things are good, they keep talking about the future and they keep talking about building together, and they, that how they're going to make sure that the other person succeeds and vice versa. But on a day-to-day basis, they waste money left and right. Right? They waste money on things like fast food. They waste money on things like cab fare, just doing things that they could find a shortcut around if they didn't have the money. So it's a difference between when you have the money versus when you don't. And this is why the rich stay rich, because they act like they're broke all the time. They make sure that they cut corners every way they can to keep as much money as possible. Instead of, oh, I have the money now, don't worry, I'm just going to treat myself this once and treat myself that once, and suddenly you have no money again. So these are the things that we're dealing with. These are the questions that we have. And I felt badly for her because she really felt like she was totally invested in this person, and the other person is not really showing the fact that they're invested in them. They have some bad habits. They're having a tough time with things. And so every chance they get, they go running to this young lady asking her for help. And she, because she loves them, doesn't mind helping, but she also has a tough time trying to say no to them because, let's face it, she's not good with money and neither is this other person. So they're doing the best they can, and it's tough because the day-to-day is messing them up. They're really falling apart on the day-to-day. So I was trying to figure out what I could actually say to her that would give her, I don't know, some solace, or make her feel like, she had a way out of this, because it's easy. It's easy when people are causing you trouble and causing you grief to be able to cut them off and be like, you know what, I'm not helping you no more. That's it. You go figure out your own problem. But that doesn't actually solve the situation at hand, because it just means that the next person they meet that has money trouble and they're trying really hard to help them out, and maybe they fall in love with them or whatever, they're gonna have trouble saying no again. So here's what I suggested. Find a way for both of you to get on the same page on a daily basis. Obviously, on the big picture level, y'all are good. Y'all understand each other. The goal is for you both to succeed. The goal is for you both to have money. The goal is for you both to be happy. And enjoying life rather than surviving day to day, struggling, scrapping, scratching at everything possible to make sure that you get ends to meet. So how do you do that? Y'all gonna have to sit down and have a conversation. And sit down and have a conversation where anytime the other person kind of bucks at you and forgets what the situation is, like what your state of affairs is, you're gonna have to say, hey, you know what? Nah, we're not gonna fight about this no more. We're not gonna fight, and you're not gonna make me feel guilty. This is the line. This is where I am at the moment. You need to remember, I also have a family to feed. You're included in the family, but I can't keep on doling out money every 5 seconds because guess what? That takes away from the big pile that we use to eat on a daily basis. So you have to have that conversation. You're going to have to tell that person, hey, this is how much money I have. This is how much money is coming back in. You may think I'm made of unlimited resources, and I may act like I'm made of unlimited resources, but the scary truth is I'm not. The scary truth is resources run out at some point. And until you have a plan to replenish the resources, you're going to have to beg someone else because this person's begging you and you run out and then you have to beg somebody else. And yeah, the cycle continues. So when it comes to dealing with people who may not be good with money and then you yourself aren't that great with money, you have to decide whether the money is more important or the boundary is more important. Which one's more important? You keeping your money or you keeping the relationship? And how can you do that if you don't have money, right? A lot of people think, hey, no money, no honey, no problem. And that sounds great until you realize that that means that until you get your money situated and until you're okay with sharing your money, because, okay, let's face it, a lot of us are really good at getting money. We don't want to spend it on anybody else but ourselves. But if you want love, you're going to have to spend it on somebody else, right? If you want a family, you're going to have to spend it on somebody else. So it comes down to the idea that, are you able to get good at handling money? Are you able to master the daily life so that the big picture has a fighting chance? Because every part of your life is like that. To be in a situation where you grow up and raise a child and the child actually respects you, guess what? You can't yell and scream and rant and rave whenever you feel like it and then hope on a good day that they understand, oh, you know what? I love you. I do. I care about you. But on a daily basis, on little things, you flip out. They're not going to get the sense that you actually love them. Let's think about it in terms of work, right? You can't talk about, I want to succeed in work and I want to get to the next level. And guess what? You know what? I want to be the best there is. And then on a daily basis, show up late and don't turn your assignments. And maybe not even like report to work, or if you report to work, don't get anything done. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. You got to work. You got to show up on the daily and make sure that your big dream has a fighting chance. Let's think about it in terms of school. You can't get a report card and be like, oh my God, I could have done so much better. I suck at life. I really don't get this. I failed this class. I failed this exam. I did not do well. And then in the off season, when you have the time to catch up and really market your skills and sharpen your skills and get really, really good at some of these things that you need to accomplish in school, like basic math, or reading comprehension, or writing papers. All of those things are skills you can definitely master. But if you don't put it to work on a daily basis, when you have to sit down and write a paper that is graded, it's going to seem foreign to you. It's going to take that much more effort. So here's what I'm saying. The daily habits need to be more second nature. They have to be habits in order for you to succeed. You don't just wake up one day, work out for 3 days straight, and then suddenly have abs. You got to put in work on a daily basis. And even more than that, you got to eat right. If you're not eating right, no matter what kind of exercise you do, it's not going to show any results, even though you know you're putting the work. You could be undoing everything you do, right, on one side by not eating well on the other side. So if you eat nothing but sugar and salt and lots of carbs, and your body is the kind that doesn't do carbs well, but you're working out, you're going to be exhausted and frustrated because you're expending all that energy. You're eating all this food. Nothing's changing. Right? Then it's suddenly the diet's fault. And then it's suddenly the workout's fault because it's not the right workout for you. But guess what? The movement works. The exercise works, but only in tandem with the food. So I've covered all kinds of different areas right now. But the bottom line being, the big picture and the day-to-day detail have to come together for everything to really work. I can't tell you that I want to succeed in my business and do podcasts every so often. I can't tell you that I want to succeed in my business and make money, and then when I'm in debt and freaking out, then I put up a sale for everything. But the rest of the 365 days, I don't say nothing about my business. If I don't speak up, if I don't do the things and tell people that I exist and I'm here for sale and I'm here to work and I'm here to teach, they're not going to know. And not enough people are going to hear it for them to be able to actually engage me when I do put up a sale. So, day to day and big picture, both of them need to be worked on. Both of them need to be tied together. You can't say one thing and do something else. It's almost like, that saying where one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing. It's almost like you're talking about a big corporation where one department doesn't know what the other department is doing. And so it seems like nothing works very well. They aren't actually working well. If one hand doesn't know what the other hand is doing, it's not working well. So you got to tie them both together. You got to have them connected. You can't have people in your life that talk about they want to be with you, they want to see you work well, they want to see you succeed, they want to support your dreams, and then on a day-to-day basis, you can't find them for peanuts. They don't care about your struggles on a day-to-day. They don't want to give you feedback. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to help out in any way possible. But, oh, I love you. I care. How is that going to work? How does that even sound like it's believable? You get me? So I'm hoping this makes sense, you guys. I kind of went the long way on this one, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Big picture, necessary. Details, necessary. And some of us are big picture people and some of us are detail people. But we need both sides. Because if we don't know what we're doing on a daily basis and what we're working toward, we won't get to the big picture. And if we don't put into practice habits that help us get to the big picture, then we're failing on a daily detail level. Does that make sense? I hope that does. If you have any questions, drop me a comment. I would love to hear from you. But in the meantime, you guys, do your best. Keep your eye on the prize and work on those details. I'm going to. I'll catch you later. Bye.